Hi everybody, it's JB and it's day 11 of Finding Love. I'm super excited to be here with you today because, well, I'm in a good mood. I'm always in a good mood. Well, not always, but I'm in a really great mood today, and I want to share with you what our topic is about finding love, and it is pull from your own well. Now, what does that mean, JB? Well, it's something that I kind of learned. When you think about that old adage about, you're in the village and you need water, and so you go to the well and you pull from the well and you put the bucket down and you put the bucket into the water and you pull up the water that you're going to drink. You have to do the work to get to the well, to carry the bucket, to put the bucket down, to pull the bucket up. Like, there's some work involved, and it's pulling from your own well, not from your neighbor's well, not from someone else's well. And so what does that all mean? Well, using it as a metaphor, I'd like to say pull from your own well. That means that all the times that you're out there looking for someone else to bring you the love and joy and happiness that you want, that's great, but only when you pull from your own well first. There was a time in my life where I will admit, I was not in a relationship and I was looking for someone to make me happy. I wanted to dance, to romance, to be with someone, to barbecue, to someone to help me with my kids. I even went through a phase where I wanted to get back together with my ex because I just needed help parenting and raising my kids. And I thought having them around would be so much better for my son, to have a male role model. And I just needed help. I felt helpless. I bought into being helpless. I just believed in the idea that I needed someone else to help me get through it. Now, it's true. We all need help. We can't do everything by ourselves. But instead of being helpless and instead of being incapable, I just was looking for someone else to fix my problems. And in truth, it was up to me to fix the things that were going on, or at least make an attempt to improve the things that were going on with my kids, if that's the example we're using, to make my life better, and not think that, their dad coming back was just going to be the ultimate answer and he was going to fix everything. Him coming back was going to be separate of me having a great relationship with my kids or figuring out how to make my life better and make it work for me. Many of you know that I went on a trip, went to 11 countries with my kids in 12 months. And I was entirely, other than in the beginning when I had an assistant with us who was helping us with our travel plans and everything. Wonderful. Alicia, thank you for coming with us and making the first part of our trip so wonderful, and all the charity work that we did. She was our charity coordinator. But in general, most of that trip consisted of me taking care of everything and organizing things and handling the kids and handling the problems and handling the issues and putting up with all of the emergencies that showed up and all of the complications that come with traveling in different languages. And I guess the point of my story is that I didn't just take the victim role or, cower in my turtle shell and realize that I couldn't do it because someone else wasn't there to help me through it. I made the commitment that if I was going to do it, I had to pull from my own well. I had to find my inner strength. I had to find my courage. I had to find my determination. I had to figure it out no matter what, even if I didn't speak the language, or I didn't know where I was going, or I didn't have a map, or I'd never been there before, or I'd never done any of that before. I needed to figure out how to do it, and I needed to figure it out from within. And that courage and determination that came from me is one of the most incredible things I ever did in my whole life, because it taught me to pull from my own well, to use my instincts, to follow my desires, to listen to my voice, to persevere my amount of determination, to trust my intelligence, to really, really get in touch with me. And I'm really profound and excited about it because I can't tell you how many women I know, and man, I'm going to give you a little break on this one. So many women that I know that take that position where they need a man to help them. They want a man to take care of them. They want a man to fix everything. And I actually even, admit this to just not that many months ago. I moved back to Canada after traveling with the kids, and I didn't want to be here because there's too much snow, and I have to shovel the driveway, and I have to heat up my car, and I have to scrape my windshield, and I have to take out my garbage, and that's no fun, and I just wish I had someone here to help me do that. pull from your own well. Because when you don't rely on another person to make your life work, it is so empowering and it is so incredible. And yes, we all love having men in our lives and women in our lives and partners in our life and relationships in our life. We love that, but not under the guise of that person makes our life work. We are in charge of making our lives work. So I'd love for you to sit down and think of all the places or all the areas in your life where you feel like you're lacking in the sense that another person would make you feel better about that. So one of the pieces for me was my son. I really felt like my son needed a real male role model. I really felt like there wasn't anyone there for him to just give him the guy stuff that I couldn't do it. And so I kept projecting out there, like maybe his coach at hockey, maybe his uncle, maybe I could find him a big brother, maybe I could, hire somebody, maybe there was like a sports club or a team, but I just kept like looking out there. And yes, I'm not a male, but the fundamental values and role model that I felt that my son needed and some of the learning tools and the pieces that were important to him, I could give him that, and I could support him in finding that in other areas like reading or YouTubes or meeting people or putting himself out there, or even just allowing him to be in situations where other men were present that were great role models for him in courses and classes and events that he could take. And so I stopped looking for someone to come into our lives to provide that for him, and I started doing everything I could to create that for the both of us and allow that to be there for him so that it wasn't like a hole in our life. It wasn't a big crater that we were falling into all the time. And, in traveling, I can't say that I got to be the mom and the dad, but I was the mom and the dad because I was the only parent there. And so I found out ways that I could pull from my own well to be the best parent, dual parent for him and for my daughter, instead of me wishing and wanting someone else to come in and take that role and feeling helpless about not having it. And I think that's the key to all of this is I don't want you to feel helpless. I don't want you to feel lacking. I don't want you to feel, let's pause it in that. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel capable. I want you to feel like you have everything you need to provide your life that which it needs. And if you take the time to find it, and if you take the time to search for it, or look for it, or research it, or study it, or inquire, or get curious about it, that is so powerful. It is so empowering. And everything I talk about ever since the beginning of my journey is how can we empower ourselves as women, as females, as entrepreneurs, as businesswomen, as single moms. Like that's my platform. How can you empower yourself? And I just want to say it so deeply that empowering yourself comes from you finding the strength to do the things that matter to you by your own inertia, no one else pushing you. I'm really excited about sharing that with you. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can sit down. I've just reached for my cards. Is you can sit down and you can write out the areas of your life where you feel you would need some support and help. And in the areas of your life where you feel like you could learn more of what you don't maybe already know that you could support yourself in, feeling anything, any hole or any inadequacy or any part of you that needs more support. That's one of the things you can start by doing. The other thing is to just practice by doing it. Little tiny things like I go out and I shovel my driveway. I've been shoveling my driveway for all the years that I've been single and I'm okay with it. Do I wish someone else could do it? Yep. But am I helpless because I can't shovel my own driveway? No. Does my car stay in the garage because there's too much snow in my driveway? No. Do I make sure that I shovel my driveway so I can get out and do my day? Yep. I pull from my own well. I don't wait for the neighbor to come over and do it. I don't wait for someone to come and help me and fix it for me so that I'm stuck inside without doing it. Now that's a really maybe bad example or extreme example, but maybe there are some areas in your life where you're not doing exactly what you want to do because you're waiting for someone else to sort of pave the way for you. How do you go and move those boulders out of the way? How do you go and blast those boulders out of the way? What do you need to do to get around those boulders, over top of those boulders, through those boulders, to get what it is you want? And ultimately, what it is you want is all that matters. When you're so clear and so passionate about what you want, you will achieve it. You won't let any boulders get in your way. You'll just find out whatever it is you need to do to get through them because you know what you want. You're clear of what you want, and you are the driving force in getting there. You're not waiting for anyone else. I had someone say to me recently, like, oh, you know, I really would like to meet someone because ... And I thought about that for a minute, and it was just said, you know, very nonchalantly. It wasn't, set in stone. But I realized that that's very common. It's a very common thing for women to say, I want to meet someone because I want this or I want that. And I'm sure in the privacy of a circle of men, you guys say it too, like, wouldn't it be great to meet a woman because ... We need that. And that is great. And it is wonderful to know that people are out there to support you in the things that you're doing. But when you pull from your own well, that is one of the most admirable qualities you could have. I honestly don't think that either the male or the female species appreciates when a person is always needing them to fill their cup. We talked about that yesterday, filling your own cup. When someone needs to fill your cup, I think that wears off over time. That becomes, not so easy on a relationship. I think it's incredibly powerful when couples see the other person who is really pulling from their own strength, who is going out after what they want, who is studying, who's learning, who's exercising, who's, eating well, who's doing the things they need to do to be the best versions of themselves. That is super attractive. That is yummy and delicious. That's what makes people drawn to you and encouraged and inspired around you, because they see that you're not helpless. They see that you're not falling down and giving up and not even starting. They're drawn into that. And I want to encourage you to go in that direction. Be you and pull from your own well, because you really, really have the skills to do it. All right, and before we close, I just want to talk about this a little. These are called the Be You, Be Yourself, Be Who You Are cards. This is a really cool deck of cards that I made. Again, this is something I wanted to do a few years ago. I'm like, I want to make a deck of cards. I want to make a deck of cards. How do I know how to do that? I don't know, but I'm just going to take every step, one step at a time, one little increment at a time to figure out how to do it. So if you have a deck of cards at home, or you need a deck of cards like this, you can get these on my website. The cool thing is they're beautifully designed, as you can see, and they have all of these B words on them. Now, sometimes we get stuck. We get, a little bit like, I'm not sure which direction to go, or, we're human, right? I'm not going to say every single day I pulled from my own well. There were some days I was just crying on the floor. There were some days I was sitting in front of my altar, not ready to do anything. There were some days when getting out from under the blankets was just not in the program that day. And if my kids didn't have to be at school, I don't know if I would have got out. Or how many nights or mornings did my kids go to school and I went back to bed in the morning because I just was that tired and that run down. It happens to all of us. There are dark days in all of our lives. We can't be up and cheerful every single day. But if we exercise the muscle of pulling from our own well, filling our own cup, using positives, going after what we want, knowing it is what we want, feeling like we deserve it, and knowing it's possible, those things catapult us forward each and every time a dark idea or a dark thoughts or a diminishing thought pulls us down. So just work on that upward motion, and eventually it'll just be your new habit. 21 days to create a habit, that's what you're doing. Every single day you're working in this upward motion. Back to the cards. So on those days when you're having a tough time, or you just need a little bit of extra inspiration, turn to your cards. Ask your question. Ask, what you're looking for. Be open to getting some direction. Give your cards a shuffle. So what I do with my cards is I just shuffle them up and I just say, what is it I need to learn today, universe? Or what would you like me to know? Or Let's say I have a problem. I really don't know how to solve this, or what should I do in this situation? And I just shuffle my cards until I feel like the answer is right in the next card. So universe, what is it I need to share with all of my viewers today? What is exactly the right and perfect message that each and every one of them needs to hear? What message in these cards would be common to all of us, and that the people who are viewing this right now would want? A few shuffles ago, this black card came up, and I kept shuffling, and the black card was like, this is the card. And then my brain said, well, if it's the card, then as I keep shuffling, it'll come up again. So the card that's come up today is be diverse. Be diverse. Be all the varieties of you. Show the world your many sides. Keep your life exciting, and even surprise yourself with uncovering the unique and magical mysteries of you. Wow, what a great card. So you can take from it whatever it is you want, but just know that that message is divinely for you. Be diverse. Be all the varieties of you. Show the world your many sides. Keep your life exciting, and even surprise yourself with uncovering the unique and magical mysteries of you. So you are unique and magical. You have so much going on. Be diverse in allowing every element of yourself to come out, to shift, to change, to alter. You may have been going down the same path. You may have been in the same love rut for many, many years. You may have repeated the same love mistakes or the same love habits. And now it's time for you to be diverse. Be diverse in learning about yourself. Be diverse in all the new things that you can acquire, you can enjoy, you can experience. You are not stuck in any box whatsoever. You break through the boxes. You break through the cage. You have the power to be whatever you want to be. Someone said to me, change is hard. You can't just change tomorrow. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. There's no such thing that you can't change tomorrow. It's all thought. If you think you can change tomorrow, you can. If you think you can change right after this webinar, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Whatever you think, you get to be right. You get it. This card is your card today. It says be diverse. Be diverse. Try something different. Be different. Be new. Be the new you. Be the updated version of you. Be the 2018 version of who you are. Be the 3.0 you. And pull from your own well. No longer let anything hold you back. No longer be a victim to anything. Choose what it is you want and go for it. I believe in you so wholeheartedly. And if you need a little extra from me, absolutely reach out. For now, finding love is right around the corner. Love yourself. Love what you do. Love who you are about to become, and enjoy that and see the next version of you unfolding. All right, take care, and we'll see you next time.